You're about to enter the Atomic Voodoo Lounge, New Stanton's one and only surreal dive bar, bringing you beauty and magic and terahertz tragic. I'm Maxwell Vegas, writer, poet, musician, and author of the soon-to-be-published novel, New Stanton. Descend with me into the static buzz of late-night radio, where words and music swirl through neon dreams and drift like cigarette smoke out over dried-up prehistoric seas. Tonight, the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast and Heavy Sixer Productions are proud to present Divine Fruit, a Southern Gothic mystery by Zoe Falk. Father Immer ended his service with the usual spell. He addressed the congregation, finger pointed to the open doors. His boisterous voice emphasized the importance of tradition and family ties to Eden. By the grace of his flailed hands, it was easy to see the priest was thrilled to be back in the small town of Cliffville. Father Immer, like so many, was born in the town's only clinic, crawled on the brittle dirt as a boy, and ate the fruit off neighbors' trees. For him, it was like coming home from the murky bowels of war, that being Houston. The people of Cliffville, much like him, regarded progress as a demon of greed. Unfortunately for them, as nearby cities grew, so did the presence of young crowds. The older residents despised the tourists. He'd often hear them gossip in Walmart about their cut clothes and colorful opinions about apple pie and values. And remember, he stressed, we are strong because we are God's chosen. We are a community of faith and peace. Now go and spread this word to those unfortunate enough to drift away. The crowds clapped in the pews. Praise touched Father Immer in hymns and chants. He sucked in the thick air. A whiff of sweat and lavender perfume hit his tongue. Low growls rumbled throughout their bodies. His legs quaked in righteous ecstasy. He felt this way every Sunday after his sermons. Reveled in the glory of speaking his gospel. Oh, how I missed these echoes, he thought with a grin. Houston birthed sinners, but here we are God's borough of glory. Father Immer's joyful demeanor persisted as he shook the frail hands of parishioners as they left. He wished them well with a smile and took the small welcome home offerings they piled on him. Cliffville was known for its range of berries, and since most of the elderly were farmers, being gifted jam was a common occurrence. With his arms full, Father Immer retreated to his apartment in the back of the chapel. Once he was sure no one was near, he dropped the heavy jars into the dumpster. They shattered in a kaleidoscope of reds and blues. Every week they do this, giving bundles of jam, not one damn cent in the collection box. I'm sick of eating it every fucking day. At least in Houston, they paid for their sins in cash. These old folks need to hurry with their retirement checks. Yes, Father Immer loved his town and its ancient tie to piety, but the people living there grew lazy every year. All they do is complain about these kids moving in, but they're no better. It's all sin that's tainting my fine earth, my valuable soil. He spat into the dead flower beds and sauntered inside. The door slammed behind him. That night, Father Immer slept in his flat, creaky bed and dreamed. In it, he stood in his father's chicken fields. Far off was his family home, a gray shotgun house with a bowed ceiling and chipped shutters. Wind chimes, no doubt another of his grandmother's bottle creations, swayed in the gentle breeze. The chicken coop, no more than a dirty shed, echoed soft clucks. His calloused foot took a step toward it. The front door creaked. "Emmer?" A shrill voice rang out. "Boy, you better not be stealing from the McCormick's fruit trees again." He whipped around. A soft gasp left him. His mother's portly figure stood in the doorway, one hand curled into her hip, the other holding a leather belt. His heels picked up as he ran toward her. "Mama," he cried, arms outstretched, as he wrapped his arms around the cold shadow. His eyes shot open into the darkness. Dirty hands swiped bleary tears as Immer took in his surroundings. He was sitting in a field. Rows of small bushes cascaded around him. He could not recall whose land he was on, nor how he got there. He wasn't prone to sleepwalking. As he stood, his toes buried themselves into the soft soil. Not a dream, then, he thought, and sucked his teeth. His gaze shifted. Thick clouds covered the moon and stars. Shadows danced between the brambles. All at once, a sweet scent penetrated his senses. He turned. A table with candlelight sat in the middle of the fields, a Thanksgiving feast of glazed turkey, honeyed rolls, and every fixin' he could think of was strewn about. He smacked his lips, having not eaten since evening mass. "You look famished." Father Immer whipped around to see what appeared to be a woman in draping robes and a halo of berries. Her face was round, with caramel eyes, plump cheeks, and pinched lips. Her delicate frame swayed in faint gusts of wind, her shapeless gown the same muted greens and blues of the land. "The Virgin," he gawked. "Our good Virgin of the earth has finally come to rescue me." At once his knees sank into the dark dirt, and his hands reached for her. "My lady," he whined, "has our Lord sent you to deliver this valley from the hypocrisy it produces? Have you come to bathe us in divinity?" "My dearest hatchling," the woman cooed with a soft smile. Her thin fingers cupped his cheeks. "Your devotion to this land and the teachings of the wise is strong. What sins of yours do you wish to impart?" Immer's dirty nails gripped the hem of her robes, his head hid in her warm palms. "Oh," he drawled, "my home has become a sanctuary for blasphemy, my lady. The young refuse to receive communion, and the old have failed to teach them. I, a mere man of humility, have told them time and time again to keep our customs. They do not listen. You know well the sheer stupidity among them, dear saint. I know God. I know when his method is questioned, the newcomers have tainted our holy grounds with interrogation, and the natural-born dwellers are no better. They sit, eat, and complain whilst never bringing them to church." His eyes welled with hot, sharp tears. "I am the only one to see how painful this is. They never give coins to our parish, but shove jars of sickly jam in my mouth. Oh, how they torment me." His voice broke into a howl as his palms left the woman's robes and lifted in prayer. But I am a follower of our Lord. Surely I have proven myself for sainthood. It was all he had ever prayed for since childhood. His parents would often find Immer hidden in the chapel's baptismal room. In front of the statue of the weeping Christ, he'd whisper detailed instructions on how he wanted his image etched into the stained glass lining the walls in Vatican City. Convinced he'd follow through with his request, Immer abandoned his responsibilities in pursuit of the church, even his high school sweetheart, who tried to convince him she was due for twins. The woman smiled and took his hands in hers. "Rejoice," she beamed, "for you have proven yourself human." Father Immer howled in laughter as he kissed her fingers. His tongue peeked from his chapped lips and without reluctance licked her skin with a reverence saved for lovers. Finally, he could claim his victory, much like St. Peter. Fluttered, wet lashes peered up at the woman. His smile dropped instantaneously. That morning around 6 o'clock, Father Immer's body was discovered in the church's neighboring vineyards. He was found naked, his skin mangled amongst the green branches. News reports described his eyes as being enlarged, the pupils blown. The man's jaw had been broken while his vocal cords were torn apart. Seed-filled dried vomit covered his chin and chest. There was no signs of an assailant, though an autopsy confirmed poison as the cause of death. Zoe Falk is a dark fantasy writer from San Antonio, Texas. Her writing specializes in surrealism, liminal spaces, and dissecting humanity's moral compass. Divine Fruit was included in Season 2, Episode 6 of the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast. If you liked what you heard, please visit atomicvoodoolounge.com or search the Atomic Voodoo Lounge on your favorite podcast app or service. Thanks for listening, and please spread the word about the Atomic Voodoo Lounge's mix of speculative noir poetry, fiction, and spoken word. In addition to the words, the AVL also has the beat. We play a variety of mood-inducing music, including surf, exotica, jazz, blues, and more. So remember, atomicvoodoolounge.com. Copyright 2026 by Heavy Sixer Productions, LLC. All rights reserved.